How's it going, guys? So I recently completed a 14 bolt swap on my JK back here, the rear axle, and I've done some unique stuff up front with some wheel adapters because doing a Dana 60 in the front right now for me was just not financially an option. So with that, I had to put on wheel spacers and wheel adapters that threw off my alignment a little bit. And I had made some of these a while back, which basically is just a piece of aluminum angle iron with some holes drilled in it that you bolt onto your wheels, and you can set your alignment like that. Well, they no longer fit, and with it being wider, I think it's thrown my alignment off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to take it apart, and we're going to see if we can modify this so that it fits on the 8-lug pattern and set the alignment, because it's real squirrely on the road, and with the snow that we've had lately, it's not a lot of fun, I'm going to be honest with you. So I'd like to get that squared away so that I can drive it a little bit safer, and we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start by pulling these wheels off, and we'll see how this goes one-handed. Well, you get the idea. Oh, come on. How good they look. So these are the adapters that I run, where it goes from a 5-lug to an 8-lug, so that way we can match the bolt pattern back here on the 14 bolt that's in there. So these adapters, I got to modify this bar that I made so that ideally, we can bolt it in somewhere around here and we can measure off of it. Because I've tried the thing where we measure off of, you pick a lug and you mark it and you spin the tire back and forth, but I have not had great luck doing it that way. So we're gonna try this and we're gonna see how it goes. While I'm in here, I should probably check the torque on these guys. So, make sure it doesn't come flying off on the highway. Yeah, saw that coming. All right, try again. All right, click. All right, tight. I don't want to go all the way in. All right, click. 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 Perfect. All right, rather than drill a whole new set of holes in here, I think I'm just gonna embiggen that back hole so that way it just slides in there, because there's nothing structural about it. It just needs to sit in there so I can throw a tape measure on it and set the alignment. So we'll give that a shot and see how it goes. That's good for it. Really? Bring it in? Yeah, bring it in. All right. Our guesstimation worked. That's pretty close. Needs to be reamed out a little bit, but that'll work. All right. We'll open that up a little bit and get that nice and tight on there. All right, that one fits like a glove. So what we do next, you throw on some spacers that may or may not fit. That'll fit. And then you thread some lug nuts on to just keep it secure against there. And you repeat the process on the other side. So I did cheat a little bit. I used a DeWalt burr. I drilled it out and then I widened it a little bit so that that fit. But we're going to do the same thing to the other side, and I'll come back when I'm done. Seem to be running low on hardware that is large enough to use as a spacer for these, so we're going to try it with one on each side and see if it lays flat. And if it does, great. We'll just crank it down like that and measure off and see where we sit. Once you've got your bars cinched down, you take your handy little tape measure and you go, yeah, it's tiny and I love it. It's actually perfectly sized. So we got 69 and what is that, 69 and a half right to the end there. Nice. And then we go measure the backside. Do the same thing back here. We'll throw that end of the tape on there and we'll measure across. And we're at about, I can't read, 69 and 7/8 to the outside of that. So we are towed in. We're towed in a decent amount, probably a little bit too much. So we're gonna make some adjustments. So we got to crack this loose. This is the Barnes 4-wheel drive ram mount. And we'll crack the jam nuts loose on both ends of that. And then we'll loosen these. The only thing I don't like about this is that it's Allen keys. And they always get packed with mud and they're just terrible to adjust. But we'll take it apart, loosen everything, and we'll get it adjusted and see what we get. I don't remember the measurements that we took before because I have the tension span of a gnat, so it's at 69 and a half, and the other side is 69 and 7/8. So we're currently towed in about almost half an inch. That's a lot. Half an inch is a lot. By almost half an inch, I mean 5/8, maybe something like that, math, you know. So we're just going to tow it in some and then measure again and see what we get. Alright. So we're going to rotate this up, hold this. That needs to be loose. There we go. Everything's a hammer if you try hard enough. Alright. Let's see what that does. Alright, we are now 69 and 5/8. That's pretty good. And 69 and 3/4. I'm actually going to leave that because that gives us 1/8 of an inch of toe. And frankly, I don't know the right number. I wish I could tell you what I normally run. But usually I just tweak it back and forth until it drives better. So we're going to tighten this all back up, set it back down, and drive it around. You know, Barnes 4-wheel drive, if you're watching this, if you could put a little flat spot on that to tighten up this jam nut, that would be greatly appreciated. Because this side's got it, which makes it really easy to tighten it up, but that side, the whole system kind of flexes as you do it, and it's a pain in the butt. So, you know, if you could, that'd be nice. It's incredible. The mere instant that I stop looking at something, I've lost it. So there's an Allen key somewhere in this garage that fits that, and it's gone. Where? I have no idea. It's a skill. It really is. Ah! I found it. Nowhere near anything else that I was working on, which is what you would expect. That's right where it belongs. But, you know, at least I found it. Typically, things like that, you know, I lose them, and I wait for somebody else to need to work on something. And when they need that, then they start looking around the shop that's a mess until they bump into it, which, you know, has worked pretty well for me in the past, but sometimes it's nice to be able to find things on your own. That popping sound means, you know, it's tight, probably. One. All right, now my favorite part. This is why I'm going to need back surgery by the time I'm 30. Oh, fuck. Could have gone worse. I don't want to pick a hobby that hurts me, but, you know, here we are. Oh, I haven't showed you guys. I did something that I think is pretty cool. You might not care, but. So I have a 3D printer, and Raceline was out of stock of the center caps that I liked. So I 3D printed these out of TPU, and they work pretty good. They just fit in there, and you know, they're not super tight, but I've gone on a wheeling trip with them, and I've put probably about 1,000 miles on it, and they don't move. So for now, I'm going to leave them until Raceline gets them in stock, but even if they do, maybe, you know, I might just leave them alone. All right, number 2. There's definitely better ways to do this. The other thing I'm looking forward to is, if this works and I can get down the street without it falling apart, I'm going to go pick up Jamba Juice. So, the impact that I was using, about yay tall. If you see it, let me know. I'm going to need that one. Oh, there it is. Perfect. All right, we're almost there. It's not bad. I'm only missing one lug nut. There it is. How many ugga-dugga is this torque? Yeah, they don't have to be super tight because this Jeep came with 5 lug nuts and now there's 8. So, you know, more is more better. Figure while it's up here, I'll give you a little tour. So that's the 14 bolt. Already seen a little bit of trail rash on it, but I did a shave kit from TMR. It's the TMR 15 bolt kit. So you have to machine the ring gear down and everything for it, which is fun. I have a buddy that I handed the ring gear off to and had him work some magic on it. But yeah, that's the 14 bolt. I actually was able to use the stock length 1350 drive shaft that I got. That's half of an Adams drive shaft and half of a Suburban drive line, because I bent the Adams and I didn't have time to send it out to him to have him fix it. So 1350, that's a Dana 44 in the front still that I don't have the money to replace, because I bought RCVs not that long ago and I'd really like to get my money's worth out of them. But yeah, the factory style brake lines do work. You just have to relocate them. They typically terminate back over here, and so you cut them short, reflare it, and then put them back on there. You have to replace your e-brake cables, but other than that, you know, all of the truss and everything, that's all from Barnes 4-wheel drive, because I'm running the Barnes 3-link kit on here. This is actually the first time it's been on the lift since the most recent wheeling trip, which was its shakedown run. So I do need to go over a few things, probably hit some more stuff with paint because it's very salty, because I live in the Midwest and we get salt because it's snowing outside. But yeah, if you have any questions about the 14 bolt swap, just let me know. But yeah, it's a 14 bolt out of a probably 2003-ish Silverado 2500, and I put an ARB in it, and that's about it. And the front's still just a factory 44 with the factory E-locker. The E-locker up here hasn't given me any problems. I do a lot of ledges. I wheel mostly at like the Badlands. There's a lot of ledges out there, and I figured the rear axle takes the hardest beating for me, so that's why I decided to upgrade the rear first. And I'll get to the front when maybe next winter, when I've got time and money again to play with it. But for now, I think this will hold up, and we'll see how it goes. We're gonna go brave the winter wonderland and bring the girlfriend Jamba. So we'll take you along for the ride and see how it rides. I don't like living somewhere that hurts my face. Ugh. It's not super clean in here, but it works. We go. I actually didn't know that it was supposed to snow again today, but I guess Checks out living around here. But this is, I think, one of the only 3/4 ton JKs that I know of where, you know, it's a 1 ton rear and a 1/2 ton front, so you know, you split the difference, you got a 3/4 ton. But it seems to be driving well. It drives good enough, in my opinion, when it's dry out, but it does get a little bit squirrely when it's like super snowy out, just because, you know, when you're in other people's ruts and it's dragging you around the road, you really need that alignment to be better than this, so that way you don't get just tossed off the road and have to constantly correct. There's the plow. Come to this side. But no, we'll drive it around and see how it goes. But thanks for watching.